Welcome, and thank you for choosing to engage with our content today. Before we proceed, it's important for us to share some essential information and ensure you're fully informed about what to expect. You're about to view or listen to a unique experience that employs Ericksonian conversational hypnosis techniques. These techniques are designed to guide you into a relaxed state, potentially enhancing your ability to absorb suggestions and ideas more readily. It's a subtle, often enjoyable process aimed at fostering personal insight and relaxation. Please note, the content you're about to engage with is created for educational and entertainment purposes only. It is not intended as a substitute for professional therapy or medical advice. If you're seeking support for specific psychological or health-related issues, we strongly encourage you to consult a licensed therapist or healthcare provider. Informed consent and expectations. By continuing, you acknowledge that you understand the nature of the content and agree to participate voluntarily. You recognize that while Ericksonian hypnosis can be a tool for relaxation and self-improvement, results can vary widely among individuals. You agree to take full responsibility for your participation and any outcomes that may arise from engaging with this content. Some disclaimers. This content is provided as is for non-therapeutic use only. The creators make no claims regarding the efficacy of the Ericksonian conversational hypnosis techniques used herein for any specific purposes beyond general relaxation and entertainment. If you are currently undergoing treatment for any psychological or psychiatric conditions, please consult with your therapist or healthcare provider before engaging with this content. If at any time during the experience you feel uncomfortable, you are encouraged to discontinue watching or listening and seek professional advice if necessary. Safety notice. Please ensure you are in a safe, comfortable environment where you can relax without being disturbed. Do not engage with this content while driving, operating heavy machinery, or in any situation where altered attention could pose a risk. Finally, our aim is to provide an engaging, positive experience that introduces you to the possibilities of self-exploration and relaxation through Ericksonian conversational hypnosis. Remember, your well-being is our utmost priority, and you are in control of your experience at all times. Thank you for your attention. If you agree to these terms and feel comfortable proceeding, let's begin this journey together. Part 1. The journey begins. In a quiet town, not unlike the one you live in, lived a man named Phil. Phil was much like everyone else, carrying the weight of unfulfilled dreams and aspirations. But within him was a spark, a potential yearning to break free from the chains of procrastination. This is a story about Phil's journey, one that might mirror your own, towards achieving something truly worthwhile. Phil lived in a charming old house on the edge of town, surrounded by a lush garden that had grown wild over the years. The house had character, much like Phil, with creaky floors and an attic filled with memories. The garden, with its overgrown paths and untended flowers, symbolized the projects and the dreams that Phil had left unattended. Phil, a man in his mid-30s, was known for his kind heart and vivid imagination. Yet he struggled to turn his dreams into reality. He often found himself stuck in the cycle of planning but never executing, overwhelmed by the enormity of his aspirations. One sunny morning, as Phil sat on his porch sipping a cup of coffee, he noticed an old book he had left there months ago. The book's title, The Path to Fulfillment, caught his eye once again. He picked it up,
feeling a strange pull, as if the universe was nudging him to take action. As he opened the book, a small piece of paper fell out. On it was a quote that resonated deeply with him. "The journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step." Phil felt a spark of motivation. He decided to start small, to make one change that could set the wheels in motion. Inspired, Phil decided to tackle the garden. It was a manageable task, something he could see through to the end. As he began pulling weeds and trimming the overgrown bushes, he realized how good it felt to make progress. Each small accomplishment fueled his determination. As Phil worked, he met his neighbor, Mr. Williams, a retired professor with a wealth of knowledge. Mr. Williams noticed Phil's newfound enthusiasm and struck up a conversation. "You know, Phil," he said, "every great journey starts with a small step. It's about taking consistent action, no matter how small. Do one thing each day, and soon you'll see how far you've come." Phil listened intently, realizing the wisdom in those words. He decided to apply this advice not only to his garden, but to other areas of his life. Each day he would set a small goal and accomplishment. He would finish what he started. Days turned into weeks, and Phil's garden began to transform. Once wild and chaotic space now bloomed with life and color. Phil felt a sense of accomplishment he hadn't experienced in years. He started to believe in his ability to achieve his dreams, one step at a time. But one evening, as Phil was finishing up his work, he discovered a hidden path behind a thick wall of ivy. Intrigued, he followed it and found an old, rusty gate. Beyond it lay an abandoned greenhouse. The sight of it filled him with curiosity and excitement. What secrets did it hold? What potential could it unlock? Phil stood before the gate, his heart racing. He knew this discovery was significant, a metaphor for the untapped potential within him. Would he muster the courage to unlock the gate and explore the unknown? The answer lay just beyond the gate, waiting for him to take that next step. As you consider Phil's journey, think about the small steps you can take. What is your next small goal? How can you start today and finish what you begin? The journey has only just begun, and the adventure continues in Part 2. Part 2, The Gate of Possibilities. Previously, we met Phil, a man much like yourself, on a journey to overcome procrastination and achieve his dreams. Through small, consistent actions, he began to see progress, transforming his garden and gaining a sense of accomplishment. But his discovery of the hidden path and the old rusty gate hinted at a greater adventure and deeper transformations awaiting him. Now, let's continue Phil's story. Phil stood before the gate, a sense of anticipation mingling with his curiosity. With a deep breath, he pushed open the creaky gate and stepped into the abandoned greenhouse. The air inside was cool and musty, filled with the scent of earth and forgotten potential. As Phil walked through the greenhouse, he noticed the remnants of what must have been a beautiful, thriving space. Overgrown plants reached out like hands. Remnants of pots and tools lay scattered, and broken glass let in beams of sunlight that danced on the floor. Phil felt a surge of inspiration. This place, much like his own life, held untapped potential, waiting to be brought back to life. Determined, Phil decided to restore the greenhouse piece by piece. It was a daunting task, but he remembered Mr. Williams' advice. Take one step at a time. He began by clearing out the debris, working a little each day. The more he worked, the more he felt a growing sense of purpose. He could see the progress, and it motivated him to keep going. One day, as he was working, he found an old journal tucked away in a corner. It belonged to the previous owner of the house, a botanist named Dr. Evelyn Hart. The journal detailed her experiments and her dreams of creating a unique hybrid plant that could thrive in any environment. Phil was fascinated by her passion and dedication. He felt a connection to her, as if she was guiding him from the past. Phil decided to seek more guidance and returned to Mr. Williams, who had become a mentor and a friend. He shared his discovery of the journal and his plans to restore the greenhouse. Mr. Williams listened thoughtfully and said, "Phil, you're on a path of discovery. Just like Dr. Hart, you have a vision. Remember, it's not just about the end result, but about the journey. Embrace the process and learn from it." Mr. Williams introduced Phil to some basic principles of botany and gave him a few books to read. Phil spent his evenings studying, eager to learn and apply his newfound knowledge. The more he learned, the more confident he became in his ability to bring the greenhouse back to life. As Phil delved deeper into the restoration, he faced a new challenge. The irrigation system was broken. Without a functioning system, the plants wouldn't survive. This problem seemed insurmountable, but Phil remembered his commitment to do one thing every day. He broke the problem down into smaller tasks, understanding the system, sourcing the parts, and fixing it piece by piece. Days turned into weeks, and with patience and perseverance, Phil repaired the irrigation system. The first time he turned it on and saw the water flow smoothly through the pipes, he felt a tremendous sense of achievement. It was a reminder that even the biggest challenges can be overcome, one step at a time. With the irrigation system fixed, Phil started planting seeds and nurturing the plants. Each new sprout was a testament to his hard work and dedication. He began to see parallels between the plants and his own life. Just like the seeds, his dreams needed time, care, and consistent effort to grow. One afternoon, while tending to the plants, Phil noticed a vine creeping up an old wooden shelf. It reminded him of his own journey, starting small but growing steadily. He realized that progress is not always immediate, but with patience and perseverance, growth is inevitable. As the greenhouse began to thrive, Phil stumbled upon another entry in Dr. Hart's journal. It detailed a secret formula she had developed to accelerate plant growth. Phil felt a sense of excitement. This formula could be the key to unlocking the full potential of the greenhouse. But as he read further, he realized the formula required a rare ingredient that was difficult to find. Determined, Phil decided to track down this ingredient. He spent hours researching, reaching out to botanists and suppliers. Finally, he found a lead, a small remote shop that might have what he wanted. It was a risk, but Phil was willing to take it. He knew that sometimes you have to take risks to achieve great things. Phil embarked on a journey to find the rare ingredient, leaving the greenhouse behind temporarily. As he traveled, he couldn't help but feel a mix of excitement and anxiety. Would he find what he needed? Would his efforts pay off? The road ahead was uncertain, but Phil knew he had come too far to turn back now. As Phil approached the small remote shop, he took a deep breath. This was a pivotal moment in his journey. The outcome was uncertain, but he felt a sense of readiness, a determination to see it through. What would he discover inside the shop? Would he find the rare ingredient and unlock the true, full potential of the greenhouse? As you reflect on Phil's journey, consider your own path. What challenges are you willing to face? What risks are you ready to take? The journey is ongoing, and the next step is waiting for you to take it. The adventure continues in part 3. Welcome back to part 3, Unleashing Potential. Previously, we followed Phil as he embarked on a journey to restore an abandoned greenhouse, overcoming challenges and finding inspiration in the journey in the journal of Dr. Evelyn Hart. His progress was remarkable, but his quest for a rare ingredient, crucial to unlocking the full potential of his plants, led him to a remote shop. Now let's join Phil as he faces the climax of his journey, overcoming his final obstacles and discovering the true essence of achievement. Phil stood before the small, remote shop, its weathered exterior hinting at years of history and untold secrets. Taking a deep breath, he pushed open the door and stepped inside. The shop was filled with an eclectic mix of herbs, plants, and mysterious concoctions, their scents mingling in the air. An elderly woman with kind eyes and a knowing smile stood behind the counter. "Welcome," she said, her voice warm and inviting. "How can I help you?" Phil explained his quest and showed her the entry from Dr. Hart's journal. The woman nodded thoughtfully. "Ah, Dr. Hart was a remarkable botanist. You are following in her footsteps, I see. The ingredient you seek is rare indeed, but I believe I can help you." She led Phil to the back room filled with shelves of jars and bottles. After searching for a moment, she handed him a small vial filled with a shimmering golden liquid. "This is what you need," she said. "But remember, it's not just the ingredient that matters. It's the intention and care you put into your work." Phil thanked her and left the shop, the vial clutched tightly in his hand. He felt a renewed sense of purpose and determination. This was the final piece of the puzzle. He was ready to see it through. Back at the greenhouse, Phil carefully mixed the formula according to Dr. Hart's instructions. As he poured the golden liquid into the soil, he felt a surge of energy, as if the plants themselves were responding to his efforts. Days passed, and Phil watched in awe as the plants grew faster and stronger than ever before. The greenhouse transformed into a lush, vibrant oasis, teeming with life. Each plant was a testament to Phil's hard work, dedication, and willingness to take risks. He felt a deep sense of accomplishment, not just for the physical transformation of the greenhouse, but for the personal growth he had experienced along the way. Just as Phil was beginning to revel in his success, he noticed something troubling. Some of the plants were starting to wilt, their leaves turning brown and brittle. Panic set in as he realized that despite his best efforts, something was still missing. Phil reached out to Mr. Williams, who came to the greenhouse to assess the situation. After careful examination, Mr. Williams offered this insight. "Phil, you've done incredible work, but sometimes even the best efforts need a little help. Plants, like people, thrive on balance. Perhaps the greenhouse needs more than just the formula. It needs a balance of light, water, and care." Determined to find the right balance, Phil spent days adjusting the light and water levels, carefully monitoring each plant. He realized that the journey wasn't just about reaching a goal, but about learning and adapting along the way. He understood that to truly succeed, he needed to be patient and responsive to the needs of his plants. One morning, as Phil tended to the plants, he noticed new, vibrant green leaves emerging from the previously wilted plants. The greenhouse was coming back to life, more beautiful and balanced than ever before. Phil felt a profound sense of achievement. He had not only restored the greenhouse, but he had also grown as a person. Phil decided to host a small gathering to celebrate the greenhouse's transformation. He invited Mr. Williams and a few neighbors, including the elderly woman from the shop. As they marveled at the lush, vibrant space, Phil shared his journey, the challenges he faced, and the lessons he learned. As the guests mingled and admired the greenhouse, Mr. Williams approached the elderly woman, his eyes widening in recognition. "Dr. Evelyn Hart?" he exclaimed. "Is it really you?" The woman smiled warmly. "Yes, it is. It's been a long time, Mr. Williams." Phil was stunned. "You're Dr. Hart? The botanist whose journal guided me through this journey?" Dr. Hart nodded. Yes, Phil. I've watched over this greenhouse for many years. When you came into my shop, I saw your determination and knew you had the potential to bring it back to life. Phil felt a surge of gratitude. Thank you, Dr. Hart. Your knowledge and wisdom have been invaluable. And thank you, Mr. Williams, for your constant support and guidance. I couldn't have done this without you both. Mr. Williams smiled and patted Phil on the back. You've done an incredible job, Phil. This greenhouse is a testament to your hard work and dedication. Dr. Hart and I are proud of you. As the sun set, casting a golden glow over the greenhouse, Phil stood before his guests and spoke from the heart. This journey has taught me that achieving our dreams isn't just about reaching the end goal. It's about taking consistent action, embracing challenges, and being willing to adapt and learn along the way. I've learned that even the biggest challenges can be overcome, one step at a time. Dr. Hart added, Phil's journey is a reminder that with patience and perseverance, we can unlock incredible potential within ourselves and our surroundings. Phil looked around at the transformed greenhouse, feeling a deep sense of fulfillment. He realized that the true essence of achievement wasn't just in the final result, but in the journey itself. The small, consistent actions, the willingness to face challenges, and the determination to keep going had made all the difference. As the evening drew to a close, Phil's guests left, each inspired by his journey. Phil stood alone in the greenhouse, feeling a quiet sense of peace. He knew that this was just the beginning. With the lessons he had learned, he was ready to tackle new dreams and challenges, one step at a time. As you reflect on Phil's journey, consider your own path. What small steps can you take today to move closer to your goals? How can you embrace challenges and learn from them? Remember, the journey is just as important as the destination. Start today, take consistent action, and watch your dreams grow and flourish. The adventure is ongoing, and the possibilities are endless. The end.
Hello, this is Coach Dave Wheeler, and this is a behind-the-scenes look at Get Things Done. And we're going to talk about some of the explanations behind the Ericksonian hypnosis elements within the story of Theo and Sarah. The story is aimed at inspiring the listener to overcome procrastination and embrace a more productive, action-oriented approach to life. There's a whole bunch of different Ericksonian elements, 7 in particular. I'll just kind of run through them real quick. First is metaphor and symbolism. Second, embedded commands and emphasized words. 3, artful vagueness, and I'll explain all these. 4 is utilization technique. 5 is pacing and leading. 6 is future pacing. And 7 is positive reframing. So let's jump right into metaphor and symbolism within the story. Theo's unfinished projects and his desire for perfection symbolize the common challenges of procrastination and perfectionism. Sarah represents the guiding wisdom that leads to action and fulfillment. Metaphors allow individuals to engage with the story on a deeper level and making abstract concepts more relatable. They encourage listeners to see their own struggles in Theo's story and consider new perspectives on their behavior. Second is embedded commands and emphasized words. Phrases such as embrace the beauty of progress, or begin with the end in mind, and let go of the grip of perfection act as embedded commands, subtly directing the listener's subconscious towards desired behaviors. Now, embedded commands bypass the conscious mind's resistance, speaking directly to the subconscious. This makes the listener more receptive to the suggestions, facilitating a shift in mindset without direct confrontation. Third is artful vagueness. The story leaves the specifics of Theo's crafts and the exact nature of Sarah's accomplishments kind of vague. The vagueness encourages listeners to fill in the details with their personal experiences, making the narrative's lessons more applicable to their lives. It helps listeners visualize their own projects and achievements in the context of Theo's transformation. Fourth, the utilization technique. The narrative starts with Theo's current state of being stuck in perfectionism and uses this as a basis for transformation. This reflects Erickson's technique of utilizing the client's present situation as a stepping stone for change. It validates the listener's current experiences while showing that existing challenges can be catalysts for growth. Fifth, pacing and leading. The story paces by acknowledging the reality of Theo's struggle with perfectionism and procrastination. It then leads by gradually introducing the concept of valuing progress and completion over perfection. Pacing and leading validate the listener's experience before guiding them towards a new understanding. This makes the journey from inaction to action feel like a natural progression, reducing resistance. 6. Future pacing. The transformation of Theo's workshop from unfinished projects to a gallery of accomplishments offers a vision of future success. Future pacing helps listeners visualize achieving similar outcomes in their lives, reinforcing the belief in their ability to overcome procrastination and perfectionism. It embeds a positive expectation of success. 7. Positive reframing. The challenges of procrastination and the pursuit of perfection are reframed as opportunities for growth and embracing the journey of progress. Positive reframing shifts the listener's perspective, encouraging them to view their struggles as part of the path to success. This reframing helps reduce self-criticism and fosters a more forgiving and proactive attitude. Through all of these 7 Ericksonian elements, the story serves as a gentle yet persuasive tool for motivating listeners to adopt a mindset focused on action and progress, rather than being paralyzed by the pursuit of perfection. It illustrates how subtle shifts in perception, facilitated by Ericksonian techniques, can lead to significant personal and professional development.